So, in the last session, we were discussing about a blob storage, how to create a storage account. Inside the storage account, how to create a blob container. It's nothing but a storing of the structured and unstructured any kind of data inside the blobs. And how to manage the storage accounts by using a storage explorer. So we connected by using a Microsoft Storage Explorer yesterday to the storage account, and we are trying to manage something. We will see whether the storage account whatever I created yesterday is available or we deleted. So how to navigate to your storage account, the service resource what you created. Every resource we are going to map to a particular resource group. So simply go to the resource groups over here. Okay. So I don't think we have deleted the resource group. Okay, fine. So simply you can create one more storage account. How to create a storage account? First you can create a resource group, then you can create a resource. Or at the time you are creating a storage account also, you can create the resource group. When you are putting your mouse on the storage accounts, it is giving the description about your storage account. So create a storage account to store up to 500 terabytes of the data in the cloud. Understand? You can store 500 terabytes. That is the limitation of the storage account. Under one storage account, 500 terabytes of the space you can storage. So simply go to the storage accounts. Quickly, I'm going to create a storage account. Create storage accounts. Create a resource group as well. Under which resource group you are going to map this resource. I'm going to create it as a E-classes. E-classes is my resource group. Going forward, any resource I'm going to create, I will map to that particular resource group. And also, I'm going to make it as a E-classes 123. And this is the location, standard performance version 2. And the replication strategy I will use locally redundant. Cool tire I will use review created. So you are creating storage account. After creating the storage account, if you want to manage anything related to the containers or tables or file share queues, everything you can perform by using a storage explorer. Then you don't need to worry about the portal. You don't need to go to the portal. Simply you can use the on-premises application what you have installed yesterday on your local machine. By using that one, you can able to perform and managing of the different kind of storage modes available under this storage account. How to do that one? Simply you can go to the Microsoft Storage Explorer what you installed yesterday. And I'm going to establish a connection to the storage account from the Storage Explorer. How can we do this? There are three ways we can perform the connection to storage account. One is access key, nothing but account key. Another one is a connection string. And the third one is shared access signature. So simply go to the resource what you created the storage account. Go to resource. My storage account name is eclasses123. Under this you can go to the access keys. So under the access keys you can take, I'm not going to create any container, file share, tables, queues in this portal. I will manage everything from the storage explorer only. So to connect to your storage explorer, you can take this connection string. Copy the connection string and go to storage explorer, establish a connection over here. So go to the connection, use the connection string, click next, make your connection string over here. What is the name you want to give? E-classes123 is my storage account name. Click next and you can connect. So what is your account? E-classes123, this is the one. The rest all the previously you have created ones. If you want to detach those things, you can detach from here. Yes, I don't want you to confuse. Detach. Yes. Right click and detach. Yes. By using this storage explorer, you can able to connect to data lake also. Data lake is nothing but a big data Hadoop system, and you can able to connect to Cosmos DB as well. So go to your storage account E-classes123. Under that we haven't created any containers or any tables or any file shares or any queues over here. So I'm going to create one container. Go to the blob container.
Hello,
Yeah.
Ram.
Yeah. Yes, please.
Your voice is like it is going up and down.
Oh.
Disturbance voice. It's like going up and
This is
down. Some
happening.
issue I'm getting like.
This is
It's your voice is breaking.
yeah. This is
Yeah, your voice is breaking.
I understand. So this is happening only for you or everyone? What about others?
No. And
I
also
think you have network issue.
So
Yeah, everyone is same, Ram. You're having some network issue. There is voice break. Yes.
starting.
okay.
Yeah, starting from the class, it is like that.
Okay, give a second. Okay. I hope somewhat better now. Am I right?
Yeah, it's fine now.
Yes.
So now
Yeah,
I'm going
fine.
to create a blob container. How to create a container? See, just right click on the create blob container. The same thing if you want to do over here, you need to go to the storage account. There you can see containers. You need to click on the containers. Under the containers, you have to create a container. Click on the container. But in the storage explorer level, how to do that one? You can right click and create a blob container. What is the name of the blob container you want to give? I want to give it as a employee. So a container is going to be created, and you can see the same container by refreshing. So employee container is created. So under that container, if you want to upload the files, you can upload. And at the time you are uploading, you can specify a folder name as well. So whatever the files you are going to upload over here, under the advanced, the table, the folder name you can specify over here. The same thing if you want to do over here, you can create a folder separately. Click on the new folder. What is the folder name? The folder name is EMP folder. Then click OK. So EMP folder is created. Under this EMP folder, I am going to upload some files. Click on upload files. So you can simply select the files over here. What are the files you want to upload? I want to upload the EMP1, EMP2, EMP1, EMP2, EMP3 and EMP4 files. Click open. So the files what you are going to upload, you need to specify the kind of blob. You need to specify what kind of blob it is. You have to specify. There are three kind of blobs. Blob. What is the second one? Page blob and append blob. Page blob, append blob. So we have three different kind of blobs available. So the default one is a blob. When you are uploading the data, it is going to store the data like a blocks. Each block contains some limitation. Limitation means some limited memory, like 4 MB. For each blob, you have to upload 4 MB or something like that. And the recommended method, the recommendation we are doing for this black blob is, when you are going to upload any kind of audio files, video files, all those things you can do in the black blob. And coming to the page blob, this page blob is mostly recommended for the virtual machines. The virtual machines, when you are creating, the virtual machines contain some images, files, all those things. To store this virtual machine related kind of data, Microsoft Azure is creating a storage account. Under that storage account, it is going to store all these files. The type of the blob it will select by default it as a page blob. Coming to the append blob is basically is going to adding the data to the blobs. But this blob and page blob, there is a possibility of modifying or updating the data what you have uploaded. But this append blob is recommended to store the log data, log files. What do you mean by log files? When you are performing something, your virtual machines or anything, what will happen in the log information? Every day a log data will be generated over here. The log data, whatever you are generating, that if you want to add to this blob files, this container, then better you can use this log file. Okay, so but most of our scenarios we are going to use the blob type is a blob only or page blob. So mostly we are using blob only. So here you can select blob. In which folder you are going to upload, you can click on upload. So all the files will be loaded over here. After discussing of the storage accounts, what I am going to discuss, from the SQL Server database, I have a SQL Server installed in my local machine, and I have a Azure storage account. Inside the storage account, I created a blob container. Inside the blob container, I created the files: emp1.txt file, emp2.txt file, emp3.txt file. So three files we have. I want to query the data from the blob storage to SQL Server. That is the requirement we will discuss after discussing about the remaining 3 storage modes. This is a SQL server in my on-premises installed. The data what I have inside this uploaded, I want to query the data by writing a SQL queries. How it is possible? There is one technique, it's a poly-based technique. By using this poly-based technique, we are going to perform the writing a SQL queries to read the data from a blob storage. Got it? Okay. So this is how you are managing all the tables, all the files what you are uploading over here. That is called blob storage. Coming to the table storage. How to create a table storage? So I'm going to create one table, that is a dim product table or product table. Create a table. The table name I'm going to give it as a product table. So what I'm going to store inside this table is what are all the products we are selling from my website. I'm just keeping that information inside this one. So my application will query the data from this table structure stored inside the Microsoft Azure. So what I will do, I'm going to create a table. Yes, I created a table, but for that table you need to specify what are all the columns and what is the data. Add a columns and adding a data also. So how to do that one? So to do that one, simply click add entity. What do you mean by entity? Entity means a one row. I'm going to add one entity, means one row I'm going to add. If you want to add one row, first you need to add a columns, right? That is nothing but a property. By default, any table you are creating under storage account, it will get 3 columns. One is a partition key, another one is a row key. A partition key means it's partitioning the data, grouping the data. Row key means it is identifying each row individually. It is identifying each row individually. So I'm going to add 3 more columns. One is product ID, second one is product name, and the third one is color, product color. The data types you can define over here. What kind of data type you want to store? String or date, time or double, GUID or integer number, whatever. And enter the values also. The partition key I'm going to give it as 1 and row key also 1. Product ID I'm going to give it as a P1 and the product name is Santur. And color is red color. Then click insert.
What is partition key? Can you please come again?
Yeah, I will come. So see here, there are 3 default columns are coming. Partition key, row key, timestamp. And again one more I'm going to add over here. Click add entity. So this time the partition key I'm going to give it again 1. Row key I'm going to give it 2. Product ID I'm going to give it P2. This is Lux. And this is blue color. Insert it. Again I'm going to add one more entity. Partition key I'm going to give it as 2. Row key I'm going to give it as 3. Product ID I'm going to give it as P3. But this time the product I'm going to change it as a washing machine. And the color is blue color or white color. So if you remember, see here, the partition key I have given for the first 2 records as 1111. The reason why I have given is Santur, Lux, these are cosmetics. So I am making this cosmetics as one partition by giving the same partition key. And next, washing machine is a different product, it's electronics. Then I am making as a 2. And if I am adding one more product, that is a fridge or cooler or TV, that is also coming under electronics. So then I will give it as a 2. So I am grouping similar kind of products into one partition. but the row key is always unique. It should not be repeat. Each row it will identify uniquely. Whenever you are inserting the record, the inserted date will come. That is nothing but a timestamp, and the data will come over here. Clear? Partitioning of the data. Grouping of the data or partitioning of the data over here we need to discuss. One second, guys. All right. So this is how you can create a table. Why we need to create a table here? Generally, storing of the data like a table structure, we will use the SQL Server. Am I right? Storing a data, what I will do in SQL in Azure Cloud, I will create one SQL Server. Inside the SQL Server, you can create a table. Inside the table, you can store the data like a product ID, product name, color. This is how we are going to save the data. This is a SQL Server. And your applications, whatever you are designing the applications will connect this one. Of course, in the backend, it will use some storage system to store the data what you are inserting into the SQL Server. Again, it is going to use some storage account and it will use, but internally we cannot see that storage account, we cannot see. So just for storing a data in a table format, table structure to query, you are using a SQL Server service. SQL Server service you are using, correct? So to avoid the another cost, SQL Server will take again a separate cost for this one. To avoid this service to use in our project just for storing the data in a table structure format, we have provided a table storage. The table storage inside the storage account you can use. It's very the cost is very less comparing to SQL Server. You can store like a product ID, whatever, and you can query product ID, product name, color. Okay, but only the disadvantage is in SQL Server, if you have table 1, table 2, table 3, you can create the relationships between the tables. But here you cannot make the relationships between the table. Each table will act independently. Only one table data you want to store in a table structure format, you can use that one. Alright, how to query this table data? To query this table data, see there is a query option over here. This is a graphical user interface, or if you want to write down this in a query structure, you can text editor. See, This is how you need to write down. Partition key equal to 1 and row key equal to 1. So that data will be executed and it will give. I need only partition key equal to 1 but row key is 2. Then you can execute it. Right? So this is how the data will come. So your application will write down a query like this and it will give you the result here. So you are entering the data manually. The data we have entered into this table manually. Can't we import a bulk of the data into this table? I have a huge volume of the data in a file. That data I want to import over here.
Ram, sorry for interrupting you.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
In previous that query, just you queried the table, like what, just you executed, no?
Yeah.
What is that? Equal to 1, equal to 2. What is that?
That is the syntax we need to use.
Hello, Ram, are you there?
Yeah. So it was disconnected. So that is the syntax. Table storage mode what you have inside the Microsoft is supporting currently. So simply you can write down on what you are going to filter the data. Okay, so I'm going to import a data. But if you want to import the data, the normal structure will not support. Like if you are putting your data in Excel or a text file or something like that, you cannot import the data directly. There should be a specific format is required. What is that format? I will show you the format of the table what we are going to use over here. Okay. So first try to export this data. Click on export and it will give you the format structure. Product file. Okay. It's a CSV file it is going to generate and keep into the desktop. No, I will change the place. Go to the E folder, save it. And you can go to the E folder and see the file. This is the file. Try to open this file. This is the structure of the file. So when you are uploading the data, just look on this one. This is a partition key. This is a row key. This is a timestamp. This is a product ID. And what is the data type of the product ID column? And the next column is a product name. What are the values you are trying to? And what is the data type of that column? What is the color? And what is the data type of that column? So you need to specify the data type definitely. So this is how you need your table structure should be there. Then only you can import the data. Got it? So next, for example, I'm going to enter a new record. Partition key 2, but the row key should be always unique. It should not be repetitive. And the timestamp I'm not going to give any value. And product ID is P4. And just copy the data type whatever you have. This is freeze. Red color. Just one record I have added newly. Then save this file. Okay, close this file. Just try to replace it. I will save in a different location. Downloads, product. Done. Now we can go over here. I will try to import the data into this table only. See what will happen if you are trying to import the data into the same table. Click on import, downloads, product. Open it. Done. So 4 records are coming. So what it did, it has removed the table data, whatever is there. It has imported the fresh data. So generally we don't use for this is 2 scenarios we will use. We have one table having a structured huge volume of the data, that is whatever the sales data or whatever. Every information you are keeping in one file, and that file data you are keeping like a table structure. And your application or your reporting tools, Power BI or any other tools are trying to connect to this one and bringing the data and displaying the report. Every day client will upload that file into this table storage. Your reporting tools will connect over here. Your reporting tools will be connected to this table and will display the data. That is the one scenario business use case we will follow. Okay.
Ram,
Yeah.
in real time, what kind of data we will store in this tables thing, Will it be like application data or some configuration or some different thing?
Mostly not the configuration data. It's about the others. It's a kind of application data. Like sometimes we will save a lookup data. Lookup data in the sense, what?
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm aware of it. And if suppose, in our application, if you have like, if it's a big project, we'll have thousands of tables. Are we going to create those thousands of tables here, or will it be in SQL?
When you have thousands of the tables, definitely you need the relationships between the tables. So modeling is not possible here. Definitely you need to go to the RDBMS system, either it's a SQL or any other Oracle. This is only for one table reference, and your application will use only that table, and it is not going to relate with any other tables to query, because you are not able to write down a joins or something to querying the data from 2 different tables over here. So it's an individual independent table. So simple. Daily I have a simple supermarket over here, and I will enter some information inside that. What is the product purchased, what is the who is the customer, and what is the sales amount, quantity. This is how I have one sheet that I'm going to upload every day. Okay. Or else an HR will upload every day the employees information who are all joining newly. So it's a one independent file, contains information you want to perform some analysis or insights on that data. All right. So then that file data I will keep like over here like a table structure, and our reporting tools will easily understand the table structure and doing the analysis without performing another kind of ETL over there to refine the data. When you have already refined data, someone is giving, your source systems are giving a refined data, and that you can keep in a table structure format, and you can able to create, you can able to design the reports. Or else your application is dumping the data. Your application daily, you will let's say for example Google Analytics. Your website, how many users are coming, what are all the URLs they are trying to daily clicking on, how much time they are spending, how many views are coming. This kind of data you have, you can export from the application, and from that application you can keep into this Azure cloud table structure, and then your reporting tool will connect that one, your reports will be populated. It's independent data. Okay, so the other options you can see about the column options, like what are all the columns we have. If you don't want to display any other columns available in this table, you can disable. And table statistics. Okay, table statistics means total how many entities you have inside this table and which storage account. All those things you can specify over here. If you want to refresh, if you want to edit any record, whatever you have inserted to update the record, so you can click on the edit and click update the values over here. Okay, so this is all about the table storage mode. The other two storage modes what we have is a queues and file shares. File share, so you ask, right, are we going to use any configuration information storage over here? So we are going to use a configuration information into a file. That file needs to be shared. That file needs to be shared between the multiple applications. Okay, you have a configuration file, and that configuration file is going to save in between, the configuration file is going to access by multiple applications. So in that kind of situations, you can create one file share. This file share is nothing but one file can be accessed by multiple applications. It's a configuration file. So how to create a file share and how to upload a file into that one? Because when you are putting a file in a shared location, shared path, if someone is opening a file and the same Excel file, if you are trying to copy or if you are trying to access, if you are trying to open, you cannot do. But this file share is a place where it can be accessed and multiple users, and where it can utilizing and accessing by multiple applications without locking the files. So I want to create a file share through the portal. So simply go to portal over here. Go back to home. Go to your storage accounts. Click on your storage account E-classes 1 to 3. What do you want to create? File share. Click on file share. What happened? Click on file share. So here you need to create a file share. The name I'm going to give it as a configuration. So how much size you want to allocate for this file share? Set a quota in GB up to 5120 GB to limit the total size of the files on the share. I'm going to give it as a 50. Then create it. So go this inside this configuration file share, and you can upload the files. So whatever the configuration files, some common configuration information is needed for the multiple applications. That information we are storing inside one file, and that file will be connected by using many applications over here. Okay, and whatever the quota you are specifying, that file should not more than that quota. That is a file share. And the next one is queues. Queues is nothing but storing of the messages. that messages can be read by your applications. So simply coming over here, queues. Try to create one queue over here. What is the queue name? I'm going to give it as a e-classes messages. Click OK. So this is the message, this is the queue. Inside this queue, go inside the queue. Now we can add the messages. I'm going to add a message for washing machine. Take the water, and you need to set the time. You can set up a time when this message needs to be expired in hours, days, seconds. You can, or if you don't want to expire this message, because this is a repetitive process. If you want to make, always my application will take the take water, and 7 days it is expired, and again add one more message, and rinse the water. So this is how the messages you can keep over here. Each message will get one message ID over here, unique ID, and that can be read by your applications. Okay, instead of storing these messages in a text file or something and reading that, there is no proper way for that one. This is the best way. You can manage in a queue, in a specific queue, and you can set a expiration time for those messages. Then your application also only want to perform this action till 7 days or 8 days. After 8 days, automatically your application will not take these messages, because this message is expired and your application will not perform that action, right? But these two storage modes we are not going to perform. The file share and this queues we are not going to use, but this blob storage and table storage mostly we will use for the reporting purpose. Any purpose, the data what we are storing inside the blob storage and table storage, we are using that as a data source for anything, either for the reporting, either for any other, like your data factory, you are loading the data from blobs to SQL. I want to load the data whatever is in a blob storage to SQL. Yes, blob storage will use. Sometimes your Power BI reporting tool will connect to blob storage also. Sometimes your Power BI reporting tool will connect to the table storage also. So in interview they are asking a question, what are the different kind of storage modes available? What is the security methods you are following? Access key, connection string, shared access signature, and the 4 different kind of storage modes available: blob, table, file share, queues. Which storage modes mostly you are using in your project is blob storage only, not the table storage. Okay, any questions so far? In tomorrow session I'm going to demonstrate this one. What is that? I have a blob storage I'm going to create. Inside the blob storage, the data whatever, the files whatever I have uploaded, emp1, emp2, emp3 inside the container, I will install a SQL server in my local machine. From this SQL server, if I am writing a query, select star from employee or whatever, the data what I have in all the files will be displayed like a table. How to query the data stored inside a blob storage into SQL? That concept we are calling it as a polybase. This is very important topic. Don't miss. 100% in real-time situations we will use this one. 100% in real-time situations, or in an interview also they will ask what is a polybase. How can you implement the polybase? Any questions from anyone on today's session?
In this polybase, we are doing SQL, we are, retrieving data from SQL Server on premises, isn't it? Can we do the same from Azure SQL as well?
Yep.
Because we are moving to the cloud, so still do we use SQL Server on premises?
Yes, but we have some limitations. Then definitely we will discuss about that. First, I will do this polybase by using on-premises. Then I will try to use the same polybase by using Azure SQL. That time I will discuss what are the limitations available. Okay.
Yeah, thanks. Just one more thing. Is this course content is for 40 hours or 40 days, or how long it would be?
40 hours.
Okay.
So Monday to Saturday. Okay. All right, guys. We will meet tomorrow. Yes, we have a session tomorrow, Saturday. Okay.
Yeah. Ram,
Sundays we don't have. Yeah.
hi Ram. Can we just get connected after the class?
Yeah. Give me half an hour, then we will connect. Okay.
Okay. Yeah,
Right.
sure.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you.